Thank you for being here. My name is Rhode, and I'm a co-founder at Taxmen. We started our business in London. I grew up in Italy, as you can hear from my accent, in 2012, with a very clear vision of becoming a one-stop shop of tax and legal services for the e-commerce industry. So we knew that many online stores needed to be supported in terms of legal terms, VAT compliance, customs advice, and it seems that our idea was I don't want to say clever, but for sure it was fruitful, because right now we also include in our portfolio 60 multinational group, mostly in the fashion, furniture, food industries. So our workshop today concerns one of the most sensitive topics in taxation, which is shipping with success to the UK. And sorry guys, sorry, I'm trying to, sorry. The UK used to be probably the easiest place to trade with before Brexit. It was part of a European Customs and VAT Union. But after Brexit, as you can imagine, as you know, if you are involved in e-commerce activities, it has become very, very challenging to ship products to the UK. We know many European merchants, they've basically given up. I think giving up is an extreme solution. Since 2021, it is true we have a barrier between the European Union and Great Britain, meaning Wales, England, and Scotland. Northern Ireland is a different story. We have a slide on Northern Ireland, which still belongs to the European VAT and Customs Union. We have a border between the EU and the UK. This is true. We have complicated rules. By one side, the UK is still one of the easiest countries when it comes to VAT repayments, for instance, and the VAT return, the VAT declaration is made of 9 boxes. It's 1 page, while the Italian one is probably 20 pages. So, but at the same time, we need to face the reality of having a border between the two areas. We also have simplification. I will go through them in the next slides. Let's start with one case, the case of shipping from Europe directly to the UK, to Great Britain. So we hold the stock in Europe, but we want to send the parcels to UK consumers. Here we have a big difference, which is given by the value of a parcel. So if we have parcels, even one single parcel for a year with a net value of less than £135, within £135, which is gross £162 if we include UK VAT. Even if we have a single B2C parcel shipped from Europe to the UK, we need a UK VAT registration. There is no annual threshold. Unless we are selling through a marketplace. In this case, we don't need the VAT number because the marketplace we collect and report VAT. We'll see this on another slide. But if we have our own website, alan.com or whatever, and we sell an item for £50 from Italy to a consumer in London, we need a UK VAT number. The good thing about low-value shipments, these shipments with a value within £135, there is never any customs duty. I don't know if it's clear to you the difference between import VAT and customs duties. VAT is a bit like the US sales tax, it's a consumption tax, while customs duties, and it applies also to domestic sales. If we are selling products within the UK, we have VAT, while customs duties are meant basically to protect the market and apply only to importation when they apply. But the good thing with importation with a value within £135, you don't have any customs duties at the border, and you report VAT quarterly with your VAT number. So it's a simplification. The negative aspect, if I say one, is that there is no minimum threshold annually. So Australia has a similar system, but they have a minimum threshold of 75,000 Australian dollars per year. The UK hasn't introduced any threshold, so even a single parcel prompt the requirement to register. It gets more complicated if we have shipments with a value exceeding under 35 pounds individually. In this case, we are not required to register for VAT, although it may be a solution in order to manage product returns. I will dwell on this later. So if you have parcels with a value exceeding under 35 pounds, there is no requirement to register for VAT. VAT will be charged at the border. So it's going to be either your consumer who receives an email from DHL asking them to pay import VAT and customs duties, or it will be the merchant managing a duty delivery paid solution whereby it's the merchant who reaches an agreement with DHL, UPS, whoever, and pays import VAT on behalf of the customer. In this case, the retail price on the website, most likely, unless you want to lose a margin, will include the value of the VAT as a cost. Or alternatively, you can decide to register for VAT and enjoy a mechanism. This is a very good simplification called postponed VAT accounting, whereby you don't pay any import VAT at the border. You do everything on your quarterly VAT return. So in this case, if you apply for postponed VAT accounting, which is automatic, you don't need any guarantee or authorization. It comes with your UK ORI number. If you have PVA, you will treat sales within £135 or above £135 in the same way. The bad thing with sales with an individual value exceeding £135 per parcel is that you may have customs duties. If the products are manufactured in Europe, you can enjoy the free trade agreement, so there will be no customs duties. But the products must be made in Europe. You need to state the preferential origin on the invoice. If the value of a parcel exceeds €6,000, you need to be registered with a REX, which is a database at the European level of registered exporters. So it gets a bit more complicated with a higher value. But we can say that if a product is made in Europe and you apply for PVA, the transaction, the importation will be tax-free. Of course, you need to have a bit of knowledge about how VAT works. You need to have an arrangement with your courier. It's not so easy, but once you have gone past the learning curve, it can be a very, very, very efficient setting. It's an entirely different chapter if we're holding stock in the UK. Holding stock in the UK means we have a warehouse, it can be a third-party warehouse in the UK, and we ship the products in bulk in pallets from China, from Europe to the UK. In this situation, in this instance, we are required to have a UK VAT number. So if you have a stock in the UK, even if the warehouse is not yours, even if a stock consists of one pen, you need a UK VAT number. It's mandatory. And it's also convenient because it will allow you, with a UK VAT number, to reclaim any import VAT paid on this bulk shipment, or to enjoy the PVA, the postponed VAT accounting. So I have £100,000 worth of goods coming to the UK. It's either a £20,000 if a standard rated worth of VAT, which we pay to our freight forwarder, and we can reclaim this £20,000 at the first available quarterly return, on the first available quarterly return, or otherwise we can enjoy postponed VAT accounting, and we are not paying any VAT at importation. Of course, we will pay VAT, we will charge VAT when we sell the products within the UK market. If you're selling alcohol products, you also have alcohol duties. It's a bit of painful nerve, managing alcohol duties, but it's only if you're selling alcohol products, of course. Another aspect that you need to consider is that before Brexit, when you applied for a VAT number, it arrived within 1 or 2 days. After Brexit and after the introduction of all these rules where you need a VAT number in the UK in many cases, regardless of your turnover, the timing for the release of VAT number, of course, as you can imagine, has increased. It can take up to 1 or 2 months. We have a team at our company. We deal with HMRC every day, so we make phone calls, we chase them, we nudge them, but it can be frustrating. The number of forms has increased, so they ask for further information, whether you are stocking in the UK or not, whether you are selling through marketplaces or not. And you need to consider also, if you're holding stock in the UK with a marketplace, I'm thinking about Amazon, you have to address one topic, which is marketplace liability. From 2021, all business-to-consumer sales made within the UK, regardless of the value, are subject to so-called marketplace liability. So the marketplace, in this case Amazon, will collect, report, and pay VAT on your behalf. What it means? It means that for all B2C domestic sales, this applies, and also it applies if you're selling online through a marketplace from Europe for all the parcels with a value not exceeding under £35. There is a bit of an issue here, because if we are importing goods and paying import VAT on the bulk shipment of the goods from the Netherlands to the UK warehouse, and then all our sales through Amazon, because most sales on Amazon are B2C, within the UK are sales where we as merchants don't collect output VAT, it means that in the short, medium, long term, we will find ourselves in a position of credit towards the tax authorities in the UK. Because if you are charged £20,000 on the bulk importation of the goods, and then on most sales, Amazon is taking the VAT and paying directly, you can easily imagine it's a calculation that you will have a credit. And you will have every quarter to apply for a VAT repayment. The rule of thumb is that up to £4,000, HMRC usually doesn't make any question. They pay directly to your bank account, and from 1 year, you can get the repayment also on an European bank account. Prior to that, you got repayments just if you had the UK bank account, or alternatively, you had to wait for a check. So you can imagine these checks going around Europe, like with a total speed, and when you receive the check, it had already expired. So it was quite a nightmare. It was a good way not to pay VAT back. But since 1 year, you can insert your European VAT number, funny enough, on a different website of HMRC. So they still make things difficult, but you can get your repayment in Europe. If it's a hefty repayment, like say £10,000, most likely HMRC will start an audit, which is an online audit by email. And they can be quite extenuating, sometimes to explain the tax officers your business model. Sometimes they make questions about the margins. And if you are a manufacturer, it's hard to explain the cost to build a product. And then Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland, as you probably remember, it was one of the most sensitive topics during the Brexit negotiation, because since day one, I would say nobody wanted to create a new border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. It was never was an option that was never considered. So the solution, at least now, is still evolving. The situation over time it will evolve. Is that Northern Ireland is still part of the EU when it comes to customs and VAT rules. So if you're shipping products from Europe to Northern Ireland, you will use the famous one-stop stop that allows merchants in Europe to report VAT in 27 different jurisdictions plus Northern Ireland. If you are moving goods from Northern Ireland to the UK, you have specific rules. There are no duties, but of course, because some merchants were thinking in the beginning, okay, I'm going to move everything to Northern Ireland so I can access the UK market without duties, because if I'm shipping products from Germany to Ireland, I don't have any, Northern Ireland, there are no duties, and then I ship the goods from Northern Ireland to the UK, again, no duties. That's considered tax avoidance. So it's against the law. And so the situation in Northern Ireland, I must say that even for me, I'm a tax practitioner with many years of experience. To understand all the rules concerning trade between Northern Ireland and the UK, it's quite a conundrum. It's quite tough, and that's probably one of the most difficult areas in terms of regulation after Brexit. Other than that, I think that it's quite easy if you are trading through a marketplace. It's quite easy if the value of your shipments from Europe to the UK is within £135. Slightly trickier if the value is higher. And if you're holding stock in the UK and you're using Amazon, most likely you may find yourself in a situation of VAT credit. But I tried in this short presentation to address all the major topics.